one of the great games in Super Bowl history,
Yeah.
and I'd like to talk about that at some point. But I will say this: I did pick New England to win 28-21. I want to apologize to everybody that I was 3 points off.
And I thought I was in good shape because I picked Seattle 24-21, and with about 2 minutes left, that's exactly what the score was, 24-21 Seattle, and oh well. You're right again, Wood. You were right again.
I always pick horse races and big sports events correctly.
So why don't you bet? Are you better?
No, not at all.
No?
Never. No, don't.
Well, maybe we need to start doing that.
No, I don't want to.
I know a few people in town who can take the bet.
No, I don't want to. Plus, the Post would fire me.
Probably.
And ESPN.
You can funnel them through
the sports
me.
show would fire me, and everybody would fire me.
You
So
wanna
what's
know
going on?
What's
going on?
Well,
I'm energized, and I haven't even had a bonsai or whatever that thing.
I'd give you one. I've got one in my briefcase. It's an energy drink. All right. The biggest stuff we got to talk about.
That's what it is.
The decision.
There's much more in there.
The decision by Seattle, of course, to throw the ball instead of run the ball at the end of the game.
Okay, everybody that was in favor of not running Marshawn Lynch, raise your hands here and at home. Oh, gee.
You thought they made the right move?
Yeah.
You thought they made the right move?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to talk to you after the show.
Yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan.
All right. The best.
That makes sense.
Here's another.
You left out the good part that he said.
He's a Patriots fan. Yeah.
So he was happy.
He was thrilled.
That was the
All right,
best line of the
we
day.
need to discuss whether or not Tom Brady is the best quarterback ever now. He's got as many Super Bowl wins as any other quarterback in the history of the game. So we need to discuss that. And then we're gonna, we got to go over the halftime show and the commercials. I'm interested in your take because we did not watch the show together. I came home on Saturday before the game, and you came home on Sunday. We did not watch the game together, so I want to get your take on this stuff. So those are the things we're going to talk about. Well, we're going to deal a little bit with the Nuggets.
Home like 5 minutes ago.
And we're going to deal a little bit with Bill Belichick and whether or not he's the greatest head coach ever. So that's where we're starting.
It's hard to say he is, just because of who he is.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it's like
even if he is, nobody wants to admit it.
I mean,
nobody outside of the 6 New England states anyway.
Yeah. Who's the greatest leader in Russia history, Stalin or
or somebody else who killed millions of people.
I mean,
Hey, if you want to get a hold of us at The Sports Show,
Lennon.
tweet us at The Sports Show. Facebook, you can get us that way too at facebook.com/The Sports Show, or you can tweet Woody at Woody Paige. You can tweet me at Les Shapiro. We've got a couple of social media segments. We will be putting your questions up and answering them. And also, we have a podcast these days too. So go to iTunes and look for The Sports Show.
And I was told today and last night by a lot of people that they see us everywhere, that we are all everywhere.
Well, we are.
That was the ESPN people were telling me. You're all. I just had someone from ESPN saying, "You guys are everywhere." And ESPN people, I haven't told you, the ESPN people really like the show.
Fantastic.
Except they keep calling it a radio show, and I go,
Nope.
How could you watch it and call it a radio show?
Nope. All right, the play call at the end of the game. And this is sponsored by the Harmony Foundation.
I'm supposed to look forward
And
to something.
the Harmony Foundation is an alcohol and substance abuse treatment facility that we'll talk about in a little bit.
Can
But
we talk about Johnny Manziel at some point?
we will. We'll talk about Johnny Manziel as well. So, the last play of the game, or I should say the last play that Seattle run.
No, the last play
I
of the
couldn't
game.
believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
A lot happened after that play you're talking about. There was offsides. There was a
But the last Seattle
could have been a safety.
offensive play.
There was a fight. There was an ejection. There was really some bad stuff going on that Seattle showed. They were poor losers. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was kind of the way you would expect this NFL season to end. I mean, it started off horribly,
interesting.
and it started off, and it ended in a not so great fashion with that fight. But let's talk about the play call.
I think it was the most watched show in American TV history.
Yeah. The last play call by Seattle.
Oh, bad call. If you're gonna throw a pass there, and I can see that they're trying to work the clock, but if you're gonna throw a pass on second down when you and I'll add something in a minute, you throw a fade route. So that if your guy doesn't catch it,
It's a safer play.
yeah, then you run Lynch on third down. There's been advanced by a writer that I don't care much for earlier today that one of the players anonymously, this is the same writer that wrote, remember one of the anonymous executives out at Dove Valley said Tim Tebow was the worst quarterback out there. Remember that story?
Yes.
Yeah. And the coach said, "Oh, is that the guy that fixes the food in the restaurant or something?" So it's the same guy. That an anonymous player said that he thinks there's a conspiracy, that they didn't want Marshawn Lynch to score the winning touchdown. Well, why would they have given him the ball on the previous play? What if he had scored on the previous play?
Wait, conspiracy why? Because they don't want to pay him the money? Because
they
he's
wanted
becoming
Russell
a free
Wilson.
agent?
This is a conspiracy that one, quote, anonymous player said that they want Russell Wilson to be the face of the franchise, and they're the guy. They wanted him to win the game and win the MVP. That was the conspiracy theory that's out there, and it was addressed on Around the Horn today, and it's been addressed all over social media and everywhere else, that people believe everybody's looking for something. I thought there was a guy on a grassy knoll at the end of the stadium, just beyond. I think he was the one that was responsible for the conspiracy. No, it's a bad play. You got a guy that is maybe the best short yardage runner in the National Football League, maybe the best runner in the National Football League. He's just gotten you, 4 or 5 yards to the 1 yard line.
Right. And you've got 3 chances with him at the 1 yard line. The guy's name is Beast Mode. You give him the ball, period.
Instead, they went to bus mode, and they threw a pass. You don't throw between the hash marks. You don't throw in the middle of the field where there's a lot of traffic. You don't throw where there's a rookie who's really pretty smart, even though he hadn't played much. He came out of Western Alabama, but according to the players, he's really an astute judge, and when he gets in, he does a good job. People tend to forget that Butler also made the play when there was the great pass catch by Curse. So he was involved in that play that could have been a touchdown. So that's what's going on. Yeah. That's
first of all, Bevel, who made the play call, the offensive coordinator for Seattle, after the game and this morning was still claiming that they were trying to eat up some clock. Really? That was like a 3-second pass play. If it's incomplete, you've eaten up 3 seconds off the clock.
Well,
Number 2, Pete Carroll after the game.
Bevel
yeah.
threw his receiver under the bus.
Yes, he did.
Saying he didn't finish the play strong.
Yeah, come
on.
And then
Pete Carroll threw himself under the bus, saying it was me. I said throw the ball on this play. So I think he was trying to take some pressure off of his offensive coordinator. It's a bad play. You got to run. But I had a Denver Broncos offensive coordinator in the 70s who went on to become a great coach at Wyoming. You remember Paul, don't you?
Roach.
Yeah. He told me, which was interesting, 76, 77, 78, he told me when you get to the first and goal inside the 5, you either commit to the run or you commit to the pass. And he said once you do that, you commit to it. That on first down, if you pass, you keep passing. But if you run on first down, you are going to run. And I thought about that during the course of what was going on last night, that you've gotten there because of Marshawn Lynch. Give it to him twice. Now, you're not going to be able to run on fourth down because you're not going to go that far. If you run on second down, you could still throw that fade on third down and actually get a third play out of it. So I think it was a mistake that will be remembered. It's plays in Super Bowl, Jackie Smith dropping, if you're not old enough, but Jackie Smith for the Dallas Cowboys dropped a wide open pass in the end zone, a tight end that you remember. Tennessee Titans, I told you last week, finishing on the 1 yard line. This game will always be remembered. Just last year's game is remembered for one thing. What?
The safety at the beginning of the game.
Safety.
Yeah.
That's what people remember about. They don't remember all the stuff that happened throughout the course of the game, or that Peyton Manning completed more passes than anybody. They remember one thing: the safety. You talk to people, oh, that's safety. I can't believe that's safety. Going down there, people, I can't believe that's safety. Well, this game will be remembered for one thing. They didn't run for it.
Right. And Bevel made a very lame excuse afterwards, and Pete Carroll in his postgame news conference was asked about it repeatedly, and finally he just kind of threw up his hands and said, hey, if we'd have run the ball, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Well, duh. You should have run the ball. Look, Marshawn Lynch is the most powerful back in the game. He's at the 1 yard line. You've got 3 chances with him. You run it, and then you run it, and then you run it.
Well,
but chances are he would have gotten in on the first try.
You couldn't run it 3 times. They had 1 timeout.
Fine, run it twice.
Well, I'm just saying,
whatever.
they couldn't run it 3 times.
He's getting in. He's getting in. The New England Patriots would have had to make a goal line stand for the ages, and the Patriots defense isn't that good. So he would have gotten in. And
let me devil's advocate you
Okay.
for just a moment, though. Here's the thinking in Seattle's point that New England's going to stop the clock, possibly, so they have a chance at the end. But they're also seeing a goal line stand defense come in. So they stacked 3 wide receivers for the first time in the NFL this year. Whoever comes up at ESPN or other places with first time on a 1 yard line play does anybody stack 3 wide receivers. And what I was trying to get when you were waving your arms was that Butler saw the stacked wide receivers. He knew what play was coming, and so he wasn't going to get picked on the play. It was a pick play. So he moved over a little bit, and he knew where the receiver was going to go, and so he got there at the same time, and he fought for the ball. So Butler is a smart young man. But I'm just saying, as devil's advocate, they're putting a goal line defense in there, and they don't have any safeties. They got corners and linebackers, and so you throw the ball. I just think it was thrown in the wrong place, that you got to throw it to the outside.
I'm sorry, Woody, everybody's thinking this through too much. You've got Marshawn Lynch.
I know.
He ran the ball 22 times. He ran the ball 24 times for 102 yards. 22 of those runs were for more than a yard. He was getting in.
Well,
his name is Beast Mode.
Yes,
he's getting into the end zone.
Except the longest yard in the game. I'm playing devil's. I agree with you.
No,
totally,
I get it. I
but
get it.
do we want to sit here and just pile on? I can
Yes.
do that. And go, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
well,
it was dumb.
I'm trying to put myself in the place of the coaches who called this, and I'm just saying to you that the hard, and people out there will agree with me, the hardest yard in football is the last one.
Unless you've got Marshawn Lynch running the ball. Harmony is Colorado's premier treatment program for drug and alcohol addiction. It's located just outside of Estes Park, a very private 45-acre mountain campus, and it is insurance friendly. So visit harmonyfoundationinc.com.